Welcome, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week we have with us Terry Edwin.
Hi.
Ariandis.
Hey, everybody.
Maven.
Hey, y'all.
And Sans Winda.
Hello.
And this week we'll head in straight into the Beacon. Issue number 12, where the Department of Strategery has given full guides that have been proved useful for many players, including around the scavenger hunt. So if you have difficulties in finding some things, you could click on the link there and find out where things are. Like, where is that chicken you've been looking? Okay, chickens maybe are easy to find.
Chickens are all over the place. Sheep are all over the place. There's pigs everywhere.
Right.
Goats were a little tricky.
Yeah, some of them are a little tricky, some of them are a little easy. And also, just a reminder that the Tolkien Professor streams on most Fridays about the Lord of the Rings online on his Friday afternoon stream at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
And if you watch yesterday's recording, he gives a shout out to Terry. Yay!
Yay!
Sweet. What for?
His new outfit.
Oh,
He made it into Dunland.
Awesome.
He's like, oh, I got to change. I have a new Dunland outfit.
yeah.
So Bragg, son of Balin, goes, yay, Terry, in the chat.
I'm so bummed I don't get to watch his streams because it's right in the middle of my workday.
I know.
And of course, we got a shout out because we were having some discussions about elephant guards last week.
I wonder why.
Yes. Does anyone have anything that they wish to mention that was in the Beacon?
I still have it up, so I must. Oh, yes. The very bottom of the list, community spotlights, he mentions brand new streamer on Twitch who's like new streamer. I think he's been streaming for maybe a week. But I happened to catch one of his first or second streams that he did. Really super entertaining guy, and I actually gave him a follow because he was that entertaining.
Nice.
I like to watch streams in the morning when I'm getting ready for work because I can't really do anything else, and it gives me something to do while I'm having my breakfast and coffee.
All right. So do you know how to pronounce his name then?
I'm going to go with TP Manus. I could be wrong.
Okay. It would certainly be easier on the tongue, I guess. That's some of the things that I was thinking of. Let's look into our weekly comment. A proper hobbit doesn't get angry. Instead, they
Eat pie.
See, that was my first thought.
I was going to say
Does
get
it have some
hangry.
pie? But I think my favorite response on the forums right now is they write a sternly worded letter.
Yes, that sounds like what a proper hobbit would do. And we also, of course, have our screenshot of the week, where Amory grabs a fantastic screenshot of Fanghorn Forest. And, oh yeah, that
looks pretty cool.
quite a shot there.
It does.
Some people have a great eye for coming up with these things.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a new official events calendar that was updated to give the latest things, because this week we have, for example, our
25% XP boost.
Yeah, 25p. Yes, the Welcome Back weekend. That's what they call it. And next week, I think, is the VIP weekend. So therefore, it's a good time to get yourself leveled up, preparing for, so that you can be ready for Mordor when it gets released. And right now, they're thinking, sometime in early June that we'll start to be able to get a look into at least the new class with Mordor coming on to Boror. As for next week, there will not be a beacon because Cordovan will be on vacation, and since he's the one who does the beacon, there won't be one for next week. So just keep that in mind. So what's on sale this week?
Some really good stuff.
Ooh.
This week's free sample is kind of useless for me because I don't do crafting, but it is the rapid crafting boost for 1 minute times 1 with the coupon Rapiddor, Rapiddor, and 20% off milestone skills, the hurried and returning traveler skills, advanced riding traits, and rally horns. Advanced riding traits are like the most awesome thing ever because account-wide journeyman riding, it means all of your horses forever and ever and ever, and goats or whatever other mount they might introduce in the future, aside from, war steeds. 78% speed forever and ever.
And new alts can ride. They get the trait. Right out of the
As soon as
intro.
they're out of the starter instance, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, assuming
So-
you have a horse.
Assuming you have a horse.
You said only horses and goats. That means that if they introduce Oliphants,
Well, I did say whatever mount they might introduce later.
I really hope we get Oliphant mounts.
I don't think Oliphant mounts are going to happen.
I know, but it would be so awesome. The little baby Oliphant is the perfect size for my hobbit to ride.
Yeah, apparently in that case, the Haradrim get all the luck in the mounts then.
Unfortunately. They don't
Let's
even
head in-
offer rides for sale. That's not nice of them.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe that's what they should do in order to... Because after they lose the war, they're going to be in need for extra funds. So maybe selling elephant rides to all these adventurers will be their way to recoup the funds they lost during the war.
Ladies and
not a bad
gentlemen,
idea.
Pine Leaf logic.
I'd line up again and again and again for this ride.
Let's head into the site news then. We'll begin with the community events for for May 19th through 25th.
Yeah, May, not March.
And as usual, a lot of this stuff was, of course, done already on Friday and Saturday. But did anyone find anything interesting that's coming up
Not this week, but I know in a couple of weeks, Shirefest is coming to Crick Hollow.
June 16th through 18th.
Yep, which I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure is like the one weekend that I know for sure in June is completely booked for me and I can't do anything online.
Aw.
Aside from, I'll be on the podcast, but I'm reasonably sure that I have like other plans already for that weekend. Actually, most of my June weekends are kind of booked.
All right, see if I could remember that little bit, since I do have my main on that server. And also we have a new episode of LOTRO Academy After School, episode 16. And that's the usual after school shenanigans. And
Yes.
And apparently we're looking for screenshots.
Yes, because we did not get any screenshots. There's 1 week for people to submit screenshots for the next after school, because after school is
On Friday.
coming up again. This coming Friday, May 26th.
Very well. And who's eligible to send in screenshots?
Everybody.
Everybody? Okay.
Everybody. I don't even think they have to necessarily be LOTRO themed. I don't think that was ever really a requirement.
Well, but I think it helps.
It probably helps.
Though
Depends on how many we
there-
get.
Yeah, I do remember there was one episode of LOTRO Academy where we were so off the rails that Brannick decided to choose a screenshot of a train wreck in France where the train went through the end of the train terminal, and unfortunately for the train, it was about 2 stories high at that point.
Oh, that's pretty off the rails.
Yeah, that was pretty off the rails, yes. And we also have a few poems this week. The poems were busy this week.
They were.
And our first poem for this week is from our friends at Casual Raiders. And this is something that was intended to be done to the tune of Root of the Boot, which is, of course, one of Tolkien's songs in there. Of course, he later redid Root of the Boot as the Trolls song that is sung by Samwise while they are going through the Trollshalls in The Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring. Welcome to another Heart to Heart, always together and never apart. Another adventure is about to start in the company of casual raiders. Freighters, craters. Another adventure is about to start in the company of casual raiders. Casual Raiders is the name of the kin. With casual raiders, you'll always win. Not joining us will just be a sin. You might as well be with Mordor. Nodor, Hodor. Not joining us is just a sin. You might as well be with Mordor. With casual raiders is a safe place. Brothers in arms from every race, slaying monsters that we face, and they sing the songs of our glory. Ori! Nori, slaying monsters that we face, and they sing the songs of our glory. Casual raiders will welcome you all, picking you up when you fall, shoulder to shoulder and standing tall. So come, have some ale at our kin island. Highland, Pyland. So come, shoulder to shoulder and standing tall. So come, have some ale at our kin island. Now, Casual Raiders is 3 years old, filled with courageous and the bold. Beautiful people with hearts of gold who like to raid on the Sunday. Grundy, Monday. Beautiful people with hearts of gold who like to raid on the Sunday.
Very nice.
Whee! And the second one in our list is from the Antipodean writer about Fingolfin's Fall, the Last Duel.
Sorry. The Dark Lord stands an ebon tower, looming tall in that evil hour. Without device, his massive targe, jet black, blots out the sky. So large that buckler is. His mighty mace, called Grond, is brought up to his face, then raised to crush the brazen foe, standing upon the plains below. Fingolfin stands, but suddenly he is not there. Fast-footed, he leaps sideways, thrusting with his blade. Ringil, like glittering steel it made. In Valar flesh, deep gouging slice. The Dark Lord screams. Then, in a trice, the hordes of Angband on their face fall trembling. What painful disgrace! Their Dark Lord suffers on that day. Dueling Fingolfin. Still the play continues. Grond up to the skies is raised and dropped. Fingolfin flies and leaps aside. A noisome pit is smashed open, and out of it issue belchings of fire and smoke. The king essays another stroke. The Dark Lord screams, then in dismay, all Angband's hordes again that day tremble face down, aghast the shame. One elf their Dark Lord does defame. Grond rises, falls, the ground is rent. Again, Fingolfin spent. No longer still can leap aside. Tired he stumbles, but then tried his strength to strike. With 7 blows he wounded Morgoth. Now he knows his end is come. Morgoth upheaves 1 foot, which like a mountain leaves the earth below, only to rush down on Fingolfin, so to crush him like a worm with fangs. Ice Ringil glitters, thrusting, clangs. Through heel to hew dark flesh and blown, the body of the Dark Lord's throne. So Morgoth's blood pours out, night black, smoking to earth as rushing back. To earth his boot descends to crush Fingolfin's life, and now a hush. Over the dueling ground a shroud of silence settles. None out loud will ask their master how much pain those wounds 7 him cause. Refrain from asking, even from that time, why for he limps as lamed, a crime to even think one elf in duel could wound Morgoth, their Dark Lord cruel. Morgoth the body lifts and breaks its bones. Turning, the Dark Lord takes the corpse, intending then to feed it to his wolves. 7 wounds bleed and torment him. His spit wound deep slows him, limping and halt to creep towards the doors of Angband. Fast from heaven a swift flight shadow cast, the movement of an arrow in flight. Too late the Dark Lord catches sight of Thorondor, the Eagle King, whose claws already are raking and gouging Morgoth's face. He screams in agony. All Angband seems to groan aloud its master's pain. Morgoth's loss is Thorondor's gain. The eagle from the Dark Lord tore Fingolfin's corpse. Then Thorondor in eye-blink speed ascends each height to vanish swiftly from their sight. Morgoth, afflicted with grim pain, descends, nor from his throne again comes up into the light and air, but sits enthroned upon his chair of darkness, with his ravaged face a win, costing him much disgrace. Thorondor flew, his talons bore the High King gently from all war. Up to his rest, eternal sleep, his body now does vigil keep, on mountains above Gondolin, inside its cairn where Fingolfin was laid with honor, such the cost, the elves recall, mourning what's lost.
Whee!
Well read.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's a...
I thought I'd
You
give
set up a
Pineleaf
challenge there. Yeah,
I thought I'd give Pineleaf a break.
yeah. And that's because I've got another one after that. And that is Book 4 to Volume 4, Voices of the Past. It is time to ride to the Tower of Guard, the massive city of Minas Tirith. We found Faramir on the field as we rode, but he was downed by a dart of a deadly Nazgul. As the soldiers in the city for siege prepared, the steward studied a stone for news. He saw shadows grow and ships approach, while our foes filched Frodo of the Shire. The sun was gone and a siege was coming, and the enemy gathered for Gondor's doom. The white tree withered and worry prevailed, for no hope remained in the halls of the West. We shook the vision that vanquished hope and spoke to Gandalf the Grey. We must head for Rohan, where its riders gathered, or the West will lose this war.
Nice one.
Whee!
My snapping ability is not good enough.
Lesson into our new player question for this week. And Ariandis.
Yes. Well, this week I actually, with the help of Terry Adwin and some other people, ran a skirmish successfully for the first time. And my question was, there are so many different types of skirmish. I'm going to say this wrong every time. Skirmish soldier, and which type goes best with each class?
Well, you can never really go wrong with an herbalist for any class.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say herbalists all around.
Yeah.
Well, herbalists do have their uses, especially if you're intending to be dishing out damage and not thinking too much about healing and the like. Then the herbalist could be useful in that, though. Just remember, no soldier is perfect in their behavior. Let's say occasionally the herbalist has been known to say, I was supposed to be healing you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes they occasionally, yes, heal the wrong person or something like that. So that's just something to keep in mind. But they are the least likely one to go running off and grabbing trouble.
Mm.
But I find that the herbalist can act as a pretty good tank. Because what happens is the herbalist starts healing, and everyone except the one that I've gone on says, "Oh, looky here! Look at this nice fresh herbalist to go after." They all run for the herbalist, and therefore I can then pick off the enemies one by one while the herbalist tanks it. And I find that I like the herbalist as a tank, at least in solo play, than I would like the protector, for example, for that reason. And in general, I prefer the ones that stay in back to the ones that go into the front, because the ones that go in the fronts have been, especially in Trouble in Tuckborough. Have you done Tuckborough yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So you will know that there is this courtyard near the end, and if you had one that ran in front and you're not careful, you could wind up with that soldier bringing in the entire courtyard, and that courtyard is one of the nastiest pools you could possibly get, because you've got two full groups including two lieutenants in that area, and yeah, bad things could happen. Just to assure you on that matter. So therefore, I prefer ones that stay in the back, which would be herbalists, sages, and archers. And I usually go with either archers or herbalists. I usually prefer archers. I know some people prefer herbalists, but usually I take herbalists only on the very heavy DPS classes. I take archers everywhere else.
And this is kind of a side question to that. What is the difference between a healer and a sage?
A sage does tactical damage. Their main thing is to do damage.
Oh, okay.
Think of them as a lore master going out there trying to do that.
Not the kind of lore master that I play, though.
Okay.
Well, there is that. Certainly not the type I play either, since I am very heavy on the pets and the like. But yes, and they're the ones who can have AoE attacks also. So therefore, they tend to draw in hate from the enemy also. So you got to be careful with them. And since they don't have healing skills, they are a little bit squishier than the herbalist, because yes, the herbalist can be squishy, but the herbalist has a habit of healing herself. So.
Okay.
So it's helpful in that matter. But what I've did one time was on my guardian, I used a sage because I figured this would give me a chance to practice tanking.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I have to go and try to keep on saving this herbalist. So I chose the sage for the extra challenge of reminding me, yes, I've got to keep this person alive.
Okay.
But,
and I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's my exception, not the rule. I used to go with banner guards,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the front ones. But when they changed the AI to have the banner guard to be a little bit more forward than it used to be, and I wound up playing my lore master with the banner guard, and the banner guard just insisted on going outside of Thongohad whenever I was preparing to fire one of the ballistae. I'd say, okay, that's it. I can't use I just can't use the banner guard anymore, because the banner guard I felt was just useless in running Thongohad. I know there are tricks you can get around or something like this, but if you have to resort to tricks in order to keep your soldier from misbehaving, then maybe you should reconsider what soldier you're using. I know some people prefer just to use tricks in order to keep them from running off and misbehaving.
Okay. All right.
Anybody else with an opinion?
Well, I mean, if you're okay with micromanaging your soldiers, then Protector can be okay. It's just you have to kind of go into it knowing that you're going to have to basically micromanage the guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is using the other skill that they give you when you have soldiers. the direct soldier to attack certain things.
Okay.
Directed to attack something that's near instead of way far in the other side of the courtyard, so that yes. Now, in my small fellowship groups that I run, I tend to run an archer. I believe the hunter is running a sage, I believe. It's either a sage or an herbalist. Actually, it might be an herbalist, but possibly it could be a sage. And the runekeeper is running a protector. And that protector comes in handy sometimes because that protector can tank. And if handled properly, you can have that protector be the main tank for a raid version of Trouble in Tuckborough. And I know because I was once trying to tank Trouble in Tuckborough, the boss in Trouble in Tuckborough, and I could not shake it off that protector. I just eventually gave up and went to fight the lieutenants with everybody else. Because, okay, the protector was doing it, so why do I need to be here? So yes, a protector can tank in a skirmish, and if you need an off tank or something like that, you send the protector to do that while you go and do something else, and that can help in such matters. So I do find it in small fellowship or even in raids occasionally, they can come in handy for things like that. Just don't be careful on what soldiers you have when you do one like rescue. I know you haven't done rescue yet, but that's one, if you're in a group, you want to be careful with what soldiers you have. Any other comments?
It's always hilarious when I run across an alt that I didn't do an herbalist on.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, usually it's something like a protector that I don't actually want, and it's in a group. And so I'm like, okay, somebody needs to dismiss their protector, and everybody's like, I don't have a protector. Oh, wait, fine, never mind.
Yeah. Been there, done that. I know, it's like, I go to get my soldier, I'm like, oops. Oopsie.
Well,
who's darn protector? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Now, if you're in a group and with a protector, I suggest that you only do that on a class that likes to stay back. It works with a hunter, for example, or a runekeeper, especially one that does damage, because they can stay back a bit, and that way your protector won't be going past the level of the tank. Because I feel that as long as the protector is not going forward past the point of the tank, there's no problem. It's that if you're playing a guardian and you got to protect, I know you shouldn't be done just out of principle anyway, then yes, you're going to get ludicrous results, and that protector will get you into a lot of trouble. So make sure that if you use a protector, especially in a group, that you are using it with someone who's more likely to be in the back rather than someone in the front.
Okay.
Or know where that direct soldier key is.
Yeah, or know where that direct soldier key is. Yes, keep track of that. That's another way of handling it. Just make sure that you may have to manage things a little bit better than if you just had an herbalist or an archer. You know, occasionally an archer gets you into trouble, but not nearly as much as one of the forward ones. Anything else? Then
well, I've been advised by a lurker that skirm raids only want herbalists.
I am occasionally in a skirm raid, and they accept whatever soldier. I do admit that there are some ones that we don't do. We don't do the ones which tend to have suicidal NPCs in them.
Ah, okay.
So therefore, and yeah, rescue is definitely not on the menu for that particular group. But yeah, it may depend on the exact group, on the server they're on, and things like that.
Yeah.
But I know that the Winfola Alliance, they do not discriminate against any particular type of soldier. As long as
maybe
you
it
know
depends
how to
on
keep them
the-
reasonably behaved.
Maybe it depends on the server. I don't know.
But they always,
I'm just relaying. I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah, it could depend on the server.
Don't kill the
and
parrot.
Right.
Don't kill the parrot.
Yeah, it all depends upon the culture of the server and stuff like that. As I said, the Windfall Alliance is a pretty casual group, so because all the kins in there are relatively casual kins, so therefore they're not going to be really strict on what soldiers you carry or anything like that. It could be that the raiding kins and the like may be super strict on what you can be, but despite being casual, we are able to get through 3 tier 3 skirm raids in less than 90 minutes.
Wow.
And that includes the time of trying to get everybody together.
Right.
Which is always time consuming.
Yeah, which is always time. Now, it does help that we do have members of the Alliance and that they're expecting to be there. So maybe only one time in 3 we have to go out to World and try to recruit people from there. Or I guess it's LFF these days. So now let's head into our week in LOTRO. And Ariendes, what are you up to?
Well, last week I didn't do a whole lot, but this week Terry actually helped get me into Moria, which was awesome. We streamed it on Twitch, and we had a lot of fun, or at least I did.
Oh, no one informed me of that party.
Oh, sorry, Pineleaf.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Nobody informed me either.
It sort of happened last minute. I sent a tweet about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get a tweet.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
I didn't either,
in
Pineleaf.
Discord for the message.
Okay, well, I have a couple alts, so when they level up, you guys will be the first to know, just so you know. So yeah, that happened this week, and like I said earlier, I successfully ran a skirmish for the first time. I still want to skirmish with Pineleaf, though, at some point. That's like my goal for skirmishing. Then I can die a happy skirmisher, you know.
Well, that you'll have to get to the field trip.
That's true. That's very true. Sorry, go ahead.
Or we could set something up on whatever other... You're on Landy, or I guess?
she's on Landy.
Yeah, Landy.
When she gets to the Moria skirms, we'll call you.
All right, then that means I'll have to get that character that's waiting at the entrance to Moria.
I still have 2 characters waiting there, too.
Yeah.
We can have another party.
There you go.
Okay.
And other than that, I didn't do a whole lot in game, but I did, in a way, kind of introduce someone to LOTRO. He's at level 7. Have not had a chance to play with him yet, but I think it'll be fun. So I thought that was kind of cool. Maven, what did you do this week?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me, so I went racing over to my little notes here. So I completed all 3. I completed all 3 year 6 lists on both my 105s. I'm really getting into this bad habit as I wait on Wednesday night for the list to come out and then immediately do one of the lists, you know. So it's like, yeah, do I have to get up early Thursday? Sure, but, you know, how bad can it be? Anyway, but it was fun because then I did it all on Glordrell, and then on Maven, I did it with Terry and Sanswin, and that was fun, finding all this stuff. Where are the animals? Where can we find a snake? Where can we find a goat? And then I also successfully completed 3/4 of the Throne of Dread Terror. Now, granted the fact that I had only ever been in just the Mumak one and didn't complete that one when I did it, that's, you know, we didn't get the last boss. We tried, and then it got so late, everybody was just like, oh my God, we have to go to bed. But I still consider that not bad, 3 out of the 4. So I still need to go back and do that, but it was fun because I'd never gotten that far before. And I also participated in an evening of 6-man scrating. It was like there were 6 of us, and I'm like, oh, okay, so we're gonna go do skirmishes, and then the little, you know, window pops up for the skirmish, and it says raid 12 people, and I'm like, okay. So we went and did that, and we did a bunch. We did a bunch
Okay.
of. So the thing that's cool about that, and I think one of the advantages, of doing it as a raid is I got to see lieutenants I don't normally see. So I was finishing those lieutenants lists, yo.
Yeah, it does
It was
not.
awesome.
Yeah, it does not affect the lieutenants list.
Oh, okay.
only
So the
advantage I
6
could
man
take-
to 12 man, they're the same. Because I know on
yes,
1
6
and 2 and 3, it's different. A different
right.
group, so I
At
don't
6
see
and
them.
12 are the same. What is different is you're doing it at cap?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing it at cap, you do have the box at the end of
Right.
the
That's what we're
raid.
going
And that's the big
Yeah.
thing, is the extra box you get for
Yeah.
raids is the
Right.
advantage of doing
Right.
it as a raid. Assuming, of
And
course,
I mean, this group
that your
This
can
group
handle it.
is particularly swag oriented, so of course we did go for the extra box.
Okay, yeah, for the extra box then is the reason for
Yeah,
doing it.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was good. It was a good week. It was a lot of fun. I got to do some stuff I hadn't done for a while. How about you, Sans?
Well, I got to pat a lot of animals. Most of them were pretty cute. And I got my baby burglar on Arkenstone ready for epic battles. She's now level 10, so... Well, she might have a little ways before she actually participates in one, but she's ready. And I actually introduced my brother to LOTRO. So, we'll see. He's not that into the lore, but maybe.
Okay.
And Terry, how was your week?
Well, I had a great week. Langevall Terry has now completed all 3 of the quests for years 1, 2, and 6.
For 2, because 2 isn't... No, is it 2
Two
or 3?
was 2 was Sam, so
Oh,
Sam
2 is that. Oh, that's
Sam
the
was
easy one.
the pub crawl and the
Right.
same thing, and I don't remember what the trifles list was, but I did get that completed. Yeah, so I've completed years 1, 2, and 6. Still have to do 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, I've finished at least one of the quests in order to be able to get 6. But while we were on the Rohirrim Tavern crawl, it leads into my next highlight. We ran across a male burglar in Woodhurst, and I had to stop and look because, first of all, the title jumps out at me because it's the Sly and Cunning. And I was like, oh, is he a burglar? He better be a burglar. So I clicked on him, and yes, he was a burglar. And then I took a minute and was examining his outfit. And then I sent him a tell and told him nice outfit, and I heartily approve of the title. So the next day on Arkenstone, I really wasn't in the mood to run any of the characters that I already have on Arkenstone. And I was like, you know what? I know I've already got a little Hobbit Burg on the server, but I don't have any male human burglars anywhere. So I'm going to make one. So I have a new baby Burg on Arkenstone, who I veteran statused out of the starter instance because I just was not in the mood to do the starter instance. And then after playing Paper Dolls, I took him to the Shire and was running posts. So I don't know who all listens to Academy, but Brannick is doing a challenge character on Arkenstone. He made a Hobbit Hunter, and he's turned off all of the floating names and all of the floating indicators and all of the map filters and radar filters and all of that stuff.
Good grief.
And that's why he's called it a challenge character. It has proven really challenging. So I was like, well, I don't know that I want to necessarily go quite to that extreme, because if I turn off floating names on a burglar, I'm going to lose my character when he goes into stealth. I'm not going to know where the heck he is. That's a danger of playing burglars, by the way, is you can actually lose your character if you don't have the floating names turned on.
It's true.
Because I've done that. It's like, wait, why is there no character on the screen? Oh, right, stealth. Yeah, so I'm keeping the floating names turned off, but I turned off a lot of the different floating indicators. So I turned off like the floating quest strings and all that other stuff. So I just have names to guide me. And I turned off in the radar, I turned off the quest tracker, and I turned off the red dots. And I'm running around in the Shire doing the mail. And I have the character up to like level 7, so 2 levels past when he started. And I'm like, you know what? I'm level 7. I'm doing pretty good in the Shire. I've been able to run around things. You know, I can see stuff, foes or whatnot, that I need to avoid in time to run around them. So I got to level 7, hadn't even gotten into combat yet. because I skipped the tutorial and everything. So I'm like, you know what? I wonder how far I can get this character without actually fighting anything or killing anything. So I'm gonna see how far I can get on a pacifist run with all the indicators turned off that I've turned off. So currently he's level 9. So he may not be an epic battle character because that would involve killing of things.
Right. that would put him in combat.
Yeah, that would put him in combat. And then I completed Volume 1, Book 8 on my Warden, which is cool because now I get to decide if I want to continue with Volume 1 or go into Moria. And since I didn't actually like either of those choices at the time that I completed Book 8, I just logged off. So, Pineleaf, how was your week?
All right, we will begin with my Arkenstone Warden, where I did the sword halls with a kinmate. We decided to do that as a duo because there wasn't a third person who was wanting to do that, but the other person was a captain, and Warden plus captain against sword halls is, well, let's just say mangled sword halls. So therefore we got there, and I also did the scavenger hunt year 6 on that character. Then on Crick Hollow, my Warden there, in addition to doing the year 6 scavenger hunt, I finally managed to get kindred with the Rangers of Ithilien.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah. Now,
You got the fox?
yeah, I got the...
Yes!
Yeah, right. As soon as I got that, I went there to see, all right, cosmetic pets. And I see this long list of cosmetic pets. 100 pieces each. I had exactly 300, so that meant 3 cosmetic pets. So I got the fox, of course, because that was the entire point that inspired me to do it.
Of getting Rangers of... Yeah, kindred with Rangers of Ithilien, because the fox.
Right, but I also got the ginger cat and the copper-backed frog.
Nice.
So those are the 3 that I chose. But I was wondering, has anyone ever managed to get enough coins to be able to get every single one of those? Because there had to be at least 7 in there. And I'm just wondering, okay, is there some opportunist person who's running Osgiliath to death so that they could get enough coins so they could actually put some of these on the auction house for people who have the rep but aren't going to be running Osgiliath enough in order to get all the pets? Assuming that they're not bound on Acquire, of course.
They're not. None of the cosmetic pets are.
Right. Okay. So the only trick then is that there'd be someone who's thinking that there'd be a market for it, since obviously
there's absolutely a market for it.
Yes, but
crazy, insane amounts of gold.
Yes, but I didn't see a single one of the Ithilien ones on the marketplace.
No, because they get snapped up as soon as they get posted.
Okay. That's why. All right. I guess that's no shock on that matter because, yeah, I could imagine they go pretty quickly. So maybe someday I can get a couple of the others, but I got the ones that were most important to get on the list, so therefore that I have to do for now. And also what I did is I decided that since I did all these things, what else could I get? There was this problem with the Rohirrim, for example, where I wanted to get the rider that fought, the cosmetic pet rider.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, I had the rep, but I didn't have those marbles that you needed in order to get that. I didn't have enough marbles, so I was trying to see which quests I had to do to it. Fortunately, a kinmate decided to loan me a few marbles, so I was able to get it that way. So that was nice.
I didn't know you could loan people marbles. I've heard of losing marbles, but loaning marbles is a new one.
Right. Now, when I saw my deed log, I was thinking, well, what if I see how many deeds I can get off my log? So I went into into Breeland to see, can I clear out my Breeland deed log? So I looked in there and said, what did I have? All right, in order to get the Slayer deeds all done for Breeland, I had to do the Huron deed. And it turned out that I had not killed a single tree in Bree with this character. This is my main. So I went into first I tried the Old Forest, but it's so hard to get enough trees there that I eventually went into the Barrow Downs, into the area down there, and I killed trees down there, and I managed to finish that up. And that only not finished up the Corn quest, but that also finished up, of course, my Slayer deeds quest, and that also finished up my Meta deed for Breeland. And once I got the Meta deed for Breeland done, I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm in the Barrow Downs. Why don't I try for all those Barrow Downs quests? So therefore I went in and killed spirits and those Barrow Wardens, and eventually went into the spiders, and now I cleared out every single deed in the log for Breeland.
Good for you.
Right.
Wow, that's an accomplishment.
Yes, and I decided to say to misquote Terry Adwin, a clean deed log is a happy deed log. And after that I said, well, what do I need in order to clear out the Shire? And it turned out that I had just one deed left to do in the Shire.
Was it pies?
No, it was Brewmaster.
Oh, Brewmaster's easy.
Yeah, so therefore I had 2 quests left to do, so therefore it was the one in Frogmorton, so collecting hops, and the other one was at the Golden Perch in order to...
Oh, so you just had a couple to do. You didn't. Yeah, so you didn't even have to do the whole run, huh? You almost got it done.
Right. So I went and did those 2 and finished that up. So now my Shire deed log is nice and clean. So that's 2 of them down, and maybe next week I might be able to do a couple of more. We shall see. We currently have 22 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. We have an email this week from Pinched, and Ariandis, could you please read what Pinched asked?
Sure. Pinched writes, salutations. Hope everyone is doing well and skirmishing responsibly. I have noticed a few areas like Bree, Mickle Delving, Thorn's Gate, and Oscaruth that have reputation maps that you can barter for. Are there any others to obtain this way? Some of my hunterless alts could really use more travel skills. Enjoy the show, and thanks a bunch ahead of time. Pinched.
Well, wait a second. Where in Mickle Delving can you get a travel skill map?
It's Return to Mickle Delving, if you're not a hobbit.
Right, where? Like, who barters for it?
Once you're kindred with the Madam Society, I think.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I was trying recently to get that skill on one of my other alts, and I got kindred with the Madam Society, and I was like, sweet, now I can get this skill, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
you have to go in the Madam House, I think.
I didn't think there was one in the Shire because
You can get it in the store, can't you?
No, because the Shire, because the hobbits are a little bit... I don't think the hobbits allow just everyone to come in because, big folk don't go in all that often, so therefore, while in Bree, you can get one no matter what race you are, I don't think the same thing is true in the Shire.
You can get a Return to Mickle Delving in the store for 295 LOTRO points.
Ah, okay. There's one for the store.
There's one in the store, but I did not find one. I think I thoroughly checked the guys in the Madam House. Maybe I missed something.
Yeah, I don't think you can get one in the Madam House for it.
Okay.
I know that Thorn's Hall and Bree do allow it if you get the rep with them, but I
Right.
don't think it's for. I don't think you can do it for Mickle.
Sam says inside the Madam House too, and I'm pretty sure you can in the Madam House because I'm pretty sure Sarissa's got one.
Okay. I'll look again.
Oh well.
Are there any other places that have
Well,
any other maps like this?
in the middle range, you have. I don't think there are any. You have them at the low levels,
Mhm.
and you have some at the high level. And at the high levels, they become pretty common also.
Okay. For example.
Well, for example, after Battle of Gilead, Minas Tirith, Dol Amroth,
Okay.
the difference between the Hunter Warden ones, and the ones for other races is that the cooldown. You have a cooldown on the others, while of course Wardens and Hunters don't have real cooldown on them. There are some areas where you have a higher level of reputation. You know, like you say, okay, acquaintance will let the Hunters and Wardens in, but at Kindred or Ally is when they finally let everyone else has. But more recently, it's been
The same across the board.
it's been the same across the board. It's just that you have to worry about a cooldown if you're not one of the usual traveling races.
Unless you have the hurry to returning traveler trait.
Yeah. So yes, but if you're talking about the middle levels, I think the first one I can think of after Oscar Ruth is in Mirkwood. And in fact, in Mirkwood it's at a different location because for the Hunter Warden, it's at the Mirkwood Landing, while for the one that you get through Rep, it's at that main place in there. Was it
Oscalath?
Yeah, Oscalath, yes.
Out of curiosity, what level is the Mirkwood stuff? Is that 70 or 75?
60.
60, okay.
65.
And Oscaruth, isn't that like mid to upper 20s?
Yeah.
So there's like a 30 level stretch in there where there aren't any.
Yep.
Right.
That's interesting.
And it looks like after that, they're pretty regular.
Yeah, they're a lot more common after that. It's just that you have this dead band zone right in the middle.
Okay.
All right, anything else anyone wants to add to that? Then we'll head to Trotter's letter, who writes, now have the idealism virtue to 26, though only 19 levels count within the game. Do you know if there is a limit on virtues that you can earn, or does it go on forever?
Well, I know it doesn't go on forever because there's only so many deeds in the game that count to virtues. I think it goes up to like 25, 26, maybe up higher for certain different ones, but 19 is the highest that's actually applicable.
Right, 19 is the highest that's applicable, but it's however many deeds that or whatever's that offer.
That apply to the virtue, yeah.
Right. And of course, that's deeds plus you have a...
It's not an infinite number, it just seems that way.
Yeah. Well, it also feels that way if you did all those deeds for that.
Yeah.
But I guess for idealism, it also depends on what race you are, because you might have the extra one from whatever race you are, though equipping that when it gives you a plus one, that doesn't count as, I guess, sort of moot. If you would like to be like Pinched and Trotter and send us an email, you can send it to podcast@LotraPlayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersOnline, Lotra Players @Lotra Players, Ariandis @Ariandis, Forte @Forte_Maestro, Maven @Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Feels, Sanswinda @Sanswinda, Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. And you could also More to our live shows every week. We have 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. On the first and third Friday of each month at 11 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. On the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy After School, which is coming up this coming week. And every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. Join us for our live shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. This is Pineleaf Mules reminding you to skirmish responsibly.